Hi, I'm Henry Matus. Welcome back to my home. Today I'm going to talk about my Gibson solid body guitars. This one is a Gibson Les Paul. Everybody knows what a Gibson Les Paul looks like. Basically, not everyone, but anyway, one of the best guitars ever made. Now this guitar, let me clarify, I'm not a guitar historian. I might get some things wrong. You can put down on the comments and correct me. That's fine, but please don't be a hater. I'm not a guitar expert. I'm not a guitar virtuoso. I'm a singer-songwriter that loves guitars. I collect guitars, and I just want to share them with my audience. That's it. So I hope you enjoy these videos. Okay, so the Gibson Les Paul came out in 1952. This is not a 1952 model. In 1952 they were gold. They're called gold top, and they had P90 pickups. These are humbuckers, so they replaced the P90s with humbuckers in 1957, and then in 1958 they started making this sunburst finish, which is beautiful. It's become one of the most popular sought-after finishes. Jimmy Page loved to play one. He was a guitar virtuoso. He was great. He's written a lot of great tunes on these. He would play them live. He would play other guitars as well. Now, why did they call it a Les Paul? Les Paul didn't invent this guitar. This guitar was invented at the Gibson factory by a man named John Hewis and his team of luthiers and engineers, and they invented the Les Paul. But they got Les Paul to endorse it, and they were able to sign him to a contract so they could use his name and put it on the guitar. And Les Paul was one of the best, if not the best, electric guitar player at that time. 1952, that's before rock and roll, so that's before Elvis Presley and Buddy Holly, so there really was no rock and roll yet. So Les Paul was playing standards and jazz and things like that, but he was a great guitar player, and he was at that time one of the best, so they got him to endorse the Les Paul. Now, from what I understand, also the Les Paul was kind of a commercial failure at first until 1968, when hard rock players started using them more. And the body is made of mahogany. It's solid, it's heavy, it's about a 9-pound guitar. So the body's made of solid mahogany. There's no F-holes, it's not hollowed out. And then the top is carved maple. They put that on top of it. And the neck is also mahogany. It's a set neck, which means it's part of the guitar. It's fastened, it's glued on there. You cannot take it off. If you take this neck off, you're breaking the guitar. Some Fenders, most Fenders have a bolt-on neck. Maybe all Fenders have a bolt-on neck, I don't know. But Fender Strats and Fender Telecasters have a bolt-on neck where you can remove the neck and do work to it or replace it with a different neck. This Gibson Les Paul, you cannot take this neck off without ruining the guitar. You can change the pickups. I've seen a lot of guys, they like to put whatever they call them, Seymour Duncans or things like that. And that's cool. I don't do that to my guitars. I don't want to devalue them. When you do modify a guitar, again, when you want to go to resell it, you're actually kind of lessening the value of the guitar. Most guys aren't going to give you the top money for it because you've altered it and it's not original anymore. Okay, but whatever, do what you want to your guitar. Now, when I say the neck is also mahogany, so you have a mahogany body and a mahogany neck. But of course, this is called the fretboard. This is rosewood. Okay, so that's not mahogany. The thing you press your fingers on, that's rosewood, and I love rosewood. These are really nice guitars. So that's about all I have to say about this guitar, other than that they're great. They're besides being kind of heavy on stage, they're really cool. They sound great. I love using them in the studio. You can play riffs, play your leads. I usually play my leads on a Les Paul. It just has a really, really good quality to it, the sound. Hi, I'm Henry Matus. Welcome back. This is my Gibson Les Paul Double Cutaway Pro, also known as a DC Pro. DC stands for Double Cutaway. So this is a Gibson Les Paul. here are the cutaways. Most Les Pauls, the standard, has just the single cutaway, so you can get down on the neck and play your riff. And this one, there's another cutaway here. And it's just for comfort, so you can get your hand all the way down here. Okay, what do I know about this guitar? Well, it's basically a Les Paul. It's got the humbuckers. It should be made of mahogany, solid mahogany, mahogany neck, rosewood fretboard, maple top, the humbuckers, stop tail piece here. And I have a couple Les Pauls, so what attracted me to this particular guitar was the color. I saw that green finish, and I saw it hanging at the guitar store. I said, hey, that's cool. I'm going to have to play that and check it out. And I liked it, so I bought it, mainly because of the color. What do I know much about a double cutaway Les Paul? Not a whole lot. They made a lot of versions over the years. I guess the double cutaway style came out somewhere around 1957 or 58. I've heard a few different opinions on that. And that was called a Les Paul Junior. And it had P90s, and it was a double cutaway. And it was like the student version of a Les Paul. So Les Paul Junior, it was less expensive. And over the years, they've kind of stopped them and then reissued them and stopped them and just made them different. So now we don't have this is not a Les Paul Junior. This is called a Les Paul Double Cutaway Pro. And again, I mainly bought it for the color, but it's just like a Les Paul. You can do a lot of stuff with it. Play your leads on it. It's got a great sound. You can change the pickup for rhythm or for leads. Hi, I'm Henry Matus. Welcome back to my channel. This is my Gibson SG Standard. They made several different types. They made the models, I should say. They made an SG Special, SG Custom. This is an SG Standard. From what I understand, these came out in 1961. They probably had P90s. I believe the original SGs had P90s. SG stands for solid guitar, so it was Gibson's attempt to make a thin, solid guitar. They made this guitar out of mahogany body, mahogany neck. This one has a rosewood fretboard, which I love. They're great for hard rock. As you've seen, Pete Townsend from The Who played one of these. His may have had the P90s in it, and I believe he had a tremolo, the whammy bar thing, or a Bigsby. And Angus Young from AC/DC has a black one, and that he's been playing for years. They're great for, they're pretty gnarly for hard rock. This one, the finish is called Heritage Cherry. It's got humbuckers. Doesn't have the P90s. This one was probably made around the year 2000, something like that. And this guitar strap, let's talk about this guitar strap. This was a gift. This guitar strap actually belonged to Del Shannon, the guy that used to sing Runaway. He wrote Runaway, and he had other hits as well. But a good friend of mine, Bob Hart, was really tight, really close friends with Del Shannon. When Del Shannon passed away, Del Shannon's wife gave Bob Hart a bunch of things, and she liked my music. She had one of my CDs that he had given her, and she said, hey, here's a guitar strap, give this to Henry. And so this is one of the very few things I own from a famous person. This was Del Shannon's guitar strap. He had several. So if you look, if you watch his videos when he's playing on late night TV, or just some of the old videos, footage of him playing, you're going to see something that looks almost exactly like this, or very similar. He had them custom made, and he had several of them. But this one, I'm really proud that I have one of Del Shannon's guitar straps. He was a great songwriter and a great singer, great entertainer. He didn't play an SG. Maybe he did at some point in his career. I don't know. He's not known for playing an SG, but I just happen to be wearing the strap, and I thought I'd share the history of this guitar strap with you. So again, this is my SG standard. I don't have an SG special. I don't have an SG custom. I only have one SG. Again, SG stands for solid guitar, made by Gibson. And this is my SG standard. I love using it in the studio when I'm trying to do something kind of hard rockish. I usually opt for this guitar. You can change the pickup sounds for rhythm. So it's got a really good sound for hard rock. Hi, welcome back. I'm Henry Matus. This is my Gibson Les Paul Studio. Okay, so it's not a standard Les Paul, it's a Les Paul Studio. Why did they make these? They made them so that I guess they were more affordable. They cost less than a Les Paul standard. They're still made of solid mahogany. You got a set neck, mahogany neck. You got your rosewood fretboard, which I love. The electronics are the same. We've got the humbuckers. But the body's not as thick as a Les Paul standard because it doesn't have the carved maple top. It doesn't have the binding around it. And it doesn't have the inlay here on the headstock. So it costs a little less to make this guitar. And so they pass the cost onto the consumer so they could buy a Les Paul for a little less money. Great guitar. I love it. Boy, this finish. I don't remember. This might be Desert Burst or Tangerine Burst. I forgot. They started making the Les Paul Studio in 1983, again, so that your intermediate players could afford them. And they still make them today. They have several different versions of them. They've had your Les Paul Studio Custom, Studio this, Studio that. I don't know. This is just a Les Paul Studio. And it's great. It's just like a Les Paul. You know, you play your rhythm. Got your rhythm pickups. You can play a lead. It's got a great sound to it, just like a regular Les Paul. So this is a Les Paul Studio. Hi, I'm Henry Matus. Welcome back again to my home. Okay, so I'm going to talk about this one last Les Paul that I have. It's a fake Les Paul. It's the only fake guitar that I own. Mostly I own Gibsons, Fenders, Ovations, what else? Paul Reed Smith. There's a few other brands that I have. But this was a J. Tercer guitar. It's just a Les Paul copy. But the color, come on, it's purple. You can see the wood grain through it. I don't even know what kind of wood it is. It's very light. It's easy to play. It's hollowed out. It's got chambers in here. Doesn't have F holes. It's not a semi-hollow body, but it's got carved out chambers in there. So it is really light, and it sounds really thick, really good. It's just a really good sounding guitar. It's easy to play. I put my own custom headstock name there on. It's a Matus guitar. These are not mass produced, sorry. But I really like it. You'll see it here in some of my videos. It's usually here on the guitar stand. And again, like I said, the company was called J. Tercer. I don't think there is a J. Tercer. That's just what they named the company. Don't really know where these were made, if they were made in Indonesia or Japan or China. I don't know. I mean, come on. It's not nearly as good as a real Gibson Les Paul, but it isn't a bad guitar. I mean, it's got a really nice sound. It's got a thick sound. The one thing I really like about this fake Les Paul is the volume. It's really loud. It's louder than some of my Gibson guitars, the pickups and the electronics. And then when you turn, the wood's really good too, because when you turn off the volume, it's pretty loud. You hear it resonating off the wood because of the chambers in there. So again, it's not a fancy collector's item or anything like that, but the color is way cool, and it's light, easy to play, and I like it. It's fun. It's really cool. I mean, I would rather play a real Gibson Les Paul, which I have, but they get heavy on stage, so this one was really cool. It's got a really cool sound to it. So yeah, for whatever reason, because it's kind of semi-hollow on the inside, but the chambers, it just has a really good sustain to it. All right, thanks for watching, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel at Stick Dog Hank.